Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for Xbox ACC Racing. My name is Adam. Thank you all so much for being here. Practice just getting kicked off. What's up, Blue? How goes it, sir? Yeah, and it's all wrong. I'm going to change it now because I haven't done an Xbox in a while, and it also says PC. So don't worry about it. I'm fixing it right now. Watching the sausage getting made. There we go. Should be updated now. There we go. It's updated. Thank you, Blue. I would have totally missed that. I meant to do it about 15, 20 minutes ago and then completely screwed it up. So just getting set for free practice right now. Again, thank you everybody for being here. It's been a while since I have been around for an Xbox race, but I am more than happy to do it for these guys. I think we need to bring as much attention to our Xbox League as we do the PC League. But as right now, we watch some of the drivers just run a quick free practice before we get started here today. Zandvoort, certainly a fun track, very technical, a lot of corners, a lot of tight corners, but also some very flowing sections that you can see there. I mean, other than the start-finish straight, there's really not a lot of straight running here, right? You're not going to see a lot of straight line passing. These guys are going to have to make plays in the corners when they can. We'll see how that goes. What's up, Bubs? Most, why does the track have to be so fucking hot? I don't know. It's set the way it's set. Honestly, I don't think we haven't really messed with it. Most of the tracks are probably hot this season. Very hard to make adjustments to Xbox servers. So, we'll see what we can do in the future, though. Oh, there, okay. Should be a lot of fun today for Xbox racing. And with that, I'm going to jump right over while we watch the end of this practice. Take a look at who is on track today. You're going to have at least 10 with 2 more jumping in now. Palm Tree Oil on track. Stan Lee returns after a hiatus. Great to see Stan out on track today. I got to speak to him for just a minute before today's race. Driving the Porsche again. Waiver Frame, a new racer for me. I don't know if this is his first week or not, but certainly a new racer for me. Kipster returns. Still driving that McLaren. Was hoping to see him back to the Audi. JB Racer in his Honda. Outer Known coming back. B Fife brings the speed. Master is out there. Mr. Peanut Butter McDaddy XL returns after a hiatus as well. Frank Drebin on track in another McLaren today. And Owari, I hope I'm saying that right. Owari on track as well. So 11 drivers thus far with just 1 minute left to go in today's free practice. We'll get into a 15-minute qualification, which will be followed by a 45-minute standard race, 1 pit with fuel and tires required during that time. And we see their waiver form setting the first timed lap today that we're going to get to see of a 1:39.7. We'll anxiously await qualification. See just how well things go for the drivers today and what kind of times we're going to see on track. Thus far, you know, the league has been small enough on Xbox that we really haven't done any splits, any classes. Really hoping that as we roll towards season 2, that we're going to be able to break guys up into a little bit of pro and am class, and maybe much like on the PC side, team folks up so that, you know, you're running as an individual. You're running your race, but also maybe part of a team that there are team standings at the end, you know, a pro-am pairing, if we can do that, if possible. We'll see, right? I think it'd be fun to do that, though. Is anybody here on gamepad? I believe JB is on gamepad, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I think he is on a gamepad. As far as the others, I don't know for sure. What's up, my man Moons? The real Moons, not the fake Moons, is here. And while we're waiting for the rundown here at the end of practice, go catch up with our boy Fife real quick, see if we can get a little extra little bit extra in the way of coverage today. I have a buddy I do F1 with who wants to get into ACC but only has controller. You know, be honest with you, Trekstar, and I know that's blue, but I'll be honest with you. I think he could do it. I mean, JB is on a controller, at least was. I haven't talked to him in a while. The last I knew was still on a controller, and is very, very speedy. He's not at all slow. So, you know, you have opportunity there. Learning controllers just like learning the wheel, right? I think you can do it. Definitely challenging, but once you get the pattern down, I would say a lot of practice, right? Offline, so you're not going into a race and just bashing people. But I think once you set up and practice, you could be okay on a controller, no problem. The real moons. Here. As I said, we'll continue to watch qualification here. And wait for some of these guys to set some times. Stan is here. Stan Lee back on track, as we said earlier. Just going to check and see if things are working here real quick as we jump over. Let's take a look at B-Fife. Speedy B-Fife on track today. Good to see him out there. Fife very fast. Oh, there you go. Friend of Will also uses controller and he's quick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, JB's pretty speedy. He's no slouch. So having, you know, knowing that, I think it's something that is relatively easy to do where you're, you know, not going to kill yourself as long as you, what do I want to say? Take your time and learn it, right? I think is what really matters. We got 11 drivers on track today. Palm Tree Oil. The Thunder from Down Under. But he is actually from New Zealand. Had no sound when you switched to B-Fife, by the way. Thank you, TG. I noticed that as well. I'm going to have to play with it and see if I can get that to work. It should be just fine, but for some reason was not coming through. So I'll take a look at that. Appreciate it. There we go. Our first time's now starting to come in as we want to go down the list and review who's on track today. Kipster setting a 137.8. Now we know, I think it was during the practice, we saw a 137.7. So hopefully we're going to see that tighten up a little bit. But Kipster very fast out front with that 137.8. Outer known right there, only a 10th off his pace though. JB heading back into the pits after coming in just under half a second back. And now B-Fife very quickly bumping JB and getting himself up there as well. Owari. Again, some of these guys I have not seen race. I haven't had a chance because I've been busy in the last week during a lot of this whole season 1 of the Xbox with the holidays and everything. Been kind of busy and haven't had an opportunity to talk to these guys or to really get to know them. But Owari out there had to go back in, but was up in 6th. We'll see. He's a second off pace. We'll see if he could tighten up. Waiver frame. Currently sitting in 8th. Master 216. 8 seconds off pace. I have a feeling that'll be tightening up. And Frank Drebin can get set a time. There we see McDaddy XL, Mr. Peanut Butter himself with a 1:37.3 now. Palm tree. B5 travels faster than sound. Might be right. Oh, I know why. Now I know why. We're gonna fix it, TJ. As I can find what I'm looking for. I can't. That kind of sucks. I'm gonna play with that. I think it has something to do with the fact that we're on Xbox and the Elgato is why I can't pull that in. I should be able to. I don't know why it's not giving me the audio over there. So we will see what we can do. Right now, Kipster down to a 1:37, almost flat. Just over 8 minutes left to go in today's qualifying session. McDaddy up there 3/10 off the pace, and Fife right there with him. Now Kipster dropping it down even harder as he looks to drop back into the pits, but a 1:36.9, so our first 1:36 of the day, but outer known, I apologize, right there, only 1.4 tenths off the pace. Daddy's a speedy boy. B5 now with our second 1:36. These guys just keep shrinking that lap time. Fife very fast today. Take a quick look at the timetables as these guys run. So B5 holding purple in 2 sectors. Kipster, again, our 2 1:36s of the day, only back by 2/10. He's holding purple in sector 2. As we see the rest of the drivers line up behind them. So, you know, I've said this since the day I started covering races, is that qualifying ain't over till it's over, and we're going to continue to see these positions flip around all the way up, you know, as we wait for the timer to run down to race start. So, really excellent job. These guys very fast around Zandvoort today. Take a look at Frank Drebin, the McLaren today. We jump back to Fife. He's just about to start a lap, so let's go on board with B Fife. Whoop. I love just having to use a controller for buttons, for camera changes. Let's go on board with B Fife as he runs a lap around Zandvoort this afternoon. Oh, 7/10 off his pace, though. Not his fastest lap as we watch him. Fife now into the pits. See if he can make some changes. Get a little bit lower. Kipster now in second. Outer Known holding third. McDaddy XL fourth. Frank Drebin in fifth. And Palm Tree Oil in sixth. Palm Tree struggling today. Now in seventh. As Stan Lee takes that P6 away from him. McDaddy XL now. Old B Fife where to go, but only by 0.06 of a second. Mr. Peanut Butter taking a break. We haven't seen him on track in a while. Comes back just smoking. I think he spent that time. Practicing. Hiding it from everybody. Not letting them know. What the hell? That is not supposed to do that. Thank you. Oh, fun time. McDaddy jumping up there with 2.5 minutes left to go in today's qualification at Zandvoort. A lot of practice, but we see here, you know, our top five all within 1 second of each other. As we talked about in the past, that's where we hope to see some action. Yeah, ghost commentators. Well, it wasn't just that. It was because it had my name and then it had the Discord link, which it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to say BoX3 Motorsports with the Discord link underneath it. I don't know how it got messed up, but it should be fixed now when they go off again. So I like this lower thirds thing, but it's a little finicky from time to time. Just a skosh. For me, it's been quite a while since I have spent time with the Xbox guys. Glad to be back. Always enjoyed watching them race and able to make it this week. Don't forget, folks, as we wait for qualification rundown, we are back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel right here at 3 p.m. Eastern at BoX3 Motorsports for PC ACC racing. Come tomorrow and see that again right at 3 o'clock. And we will be at Brands Hatch, one of my favorite tracks. I wish I could get better at it, but I do enjoy driving it with the elevation changes and everything else. Brands Hatch, standard race tomorrow, so much like you will see today. They'll have a 10-minute free practice over there, a 20-minute qualification with a 45-minute race. Fuel only mandatory pit stop in the PC League. As we take a look, Kipster now taking P1 back from McDaddy. 6/1000ths of a second. B Fife within 0.06 of a second of our leader Kipster right now. So, never, you know, I mean, again, we can look at the top five and we can say everybody's within a second, 100%. Our top three are all within hundredths of a second of each other. It's going to be very interesting at the front of this race. It's going to be great. Add a green X for the box logo for Xbox League. We should do that, Steadfast. We should do that. Throw something up there, right? I think most people could tell because the overlay's nowhere near the same because you have to stay in the menu when you're watching and everything else. So as we come down to the end of qualification here, let's take another quick look at the timetable before it resets on us. And take a look at that. The purple laps have moved all over the place. Hipster, our current pole setter, nowhere near... no, I shouldn't say nowhere near, but he's not holding a single purple sector. Those are spread amongst McDaddy XL, B-Fife, and Outer Known in second, third, and fourth, respectively. That's amazing to see the person on pole not holding a single purple sector. Very, very interesting. Let's wait for these guys to come in. We watch Kipster have a little struggle out there. Whoops. Oh, it did that to me. We wait for the race to start. And yes, it is a little long here, but unfortunately that was required. Again, with these Xbox servers, you do not have the control that you do on PC. And it makes things a little difficult to set them up just right. If you set times, sometimes they don't stick. Other times they do stick. Then, you know, things get weird. Don't forget, folks, if you are not already a member, come and take a look at our Discord, BoX3 Motorsports. As we discussed earlier during the free practice, it doesn't matter if you race on a wheel, a controller, Xbox, or PC. You're more than welcome to come and join. We are community first. We are sim racers second. We look for everybody to have fun and enjoy their time with us. Oh. 11 drivers on track today. Hipster going to lead the charge ahead of McDaddy and B-Fife. Sharing row 1 with McDaddy. Now, remember, these guys were within 6 1/1000ths of each other. 6 1/1000ths of a second of each other. So, going to be very interesting going into T1. Red, at some point you got to help me. We got to get the full formation lap going with this. Our drivers will head into double file on this short formation lap. 45 minutes of racing, 1 mandatory pit stop. Hipster, McDaddy in row 1. B-Fife and Outer Known in row 2. All very, very fast drivers. All very close to each other in qualification. We'll see how fast I am with a controller. Green light. Green light. Let's go racing down into T1 at Zandvoort on a Saturday afternoon. Deep, hard braking, 3 wide in the back, and we've got some bumps already. Trading paint. Everybody trading some door paint back there. Hipster able to break out ahead. Wait, what? Oh, this thing's all screwed up. And the list never updates. Outer Known has gotten himself up into second with McDaddy leading the pack. Kipster dropped back into third. B-Fife now in fourth. So, a lot of flips. Oh, and Outer Known off track already. Losing position now to Kipster. Go back as a B-Fife starts to apply pressure. Outer known obviously struggling. Dan Lee now all the way to the back of the pack. Take a quick jump back and check on him. Looks like he must have struggled back there and had some trouble, as he is all by himself. 8 seconds off of Master right now. Outer known trying to get his legs in under him and get going ahead of B Fife, which is not going to be easy to do. Fife very, very fast. Back and take a look. Waiver frame under pressure from palm tree oil now. A little bit of sliding there for Waiver. Hopefully he's able to get that under control. Palm tree's going to make him pay for it if not, however. Palm tree looking to play on the inside. Waiver frame doing very well to keep it together as Palm Tree continues to apply pressure. Yeah, done. We got 11 drivers today. Growing. We're getting there. Xbox League is growing. Like whatever happened with Stan Lee, he has now fixed it, as he is under 5 seconds now behind Master back there in the back. We'll keep an eye on it because he was over 8 seconds back at one point. He's obviously closing that gap very quickly. Palm Tree looking for a little draft going into T1 and see if he can get on the inside. Great racing from both drivers. Everybody's holding their line. Hope it stays that way. Side by side now. Palm Tree able to squeak it out and get ahead of Waiver Frame. Can he hold it? Great driving from both of those gentlemen. Take a check in with Frank Drebin, who's under pressure from Owari. Maybe somebody can check and tell me. I mean, is Zandvoort one of those tracks where you really got to watch your track limits? And the only reason I ask is we just saw Owari. They're going a little, you know, a little into the grass, and I'm wondering if that's going to start pulling track limit warnings for people, if we're going to see more of that today during the race. Frank Drebin now leading a pack of 3 with JB Racer quickly closing the gap, getting himself to within 1 second of Owari. Pressure loss, okay. And again, we got to keep a look back here. Let's go back here real quick. Stan Lee, at one point with an 8-second gap, has now caught up to the right on the tail of Master. Stan does love that Porsche, and he is good with it. We watch Stan gonna maybe try and pull some air. Take him on the outside. There you go. Stan Lee able to get around Master. We'll continue to keep an eye on him as we wait and see. Waiver Frame now back into 9th. Owari and Palm Tree able to get around Frank Drebin, it appears. And now JB Racer getting himself, there must have been, Frank Drebin must have had troubles because now he's lost position. And there goes Owari off track. JB Racer sliding. I can hear the tires under that Honda just squirreling. But now Palm Tree Oil with Owari out of the way. Going to see what kind of a pressure he can apply to JB. Let's take a quick walk down through after we've gotten a little over 5 minutes into the race gone. McDaddy XL leads out, having been able to jump himself ahead off of the beginning of the race. Kipster now in second, without or known now just making the pass, which is weird because never showed him with inside of 1 second of each other. Whoa! Was that Kipster? Yeah, Kipster now sliding. As we just now come up and take a look at these guys. Outer Known ahead, B-Fife ahead. JB Racer now in 5th, a good ways back, but Palm Tree Oil right there. We'll see what kind of times these guys and how far apart they are at this point. The corners here at Zandvoort giving people a royal fit, that is for sure. As we've seen several go off track at this point, lose significant position. McDaddy continues to lead, staying very calm and collected up there. Outer Known now 3.5 off his pace. B-Fife currently running in 3rd, with Kipster, after what we saw earlier, now in 4th. JB Racer 4.2 back off of his pace, and JB now going to be leading Palm Tree. Like Owari as well, catching up on Waiver Frame, who took the beach route. And Owari cannot be happy about that, nearly clipping his nose off to come back on track. Another lap under the belt as Owari's going to apply pressure to Waiver Frame into T1. Owari going to tuck the nose of that car right up under Waiver Frame's wing. Ferrari certainly looks like it would fit under there. So we've seen a lot of this action today is coming down this straight right into T1. Again, Zandvoort having really only that start-finish straight as the long run to really get some speed up. I guess it's probably not surprising because the rest of this course, very curvy, very technical. You know, at one point, you know, you could say slower because of all the corners, but at the same time, being so technical, you've really got to pick your passes carefully, know which corners you're more confident in, and know where you can tuck it in or go around the outside and try and make that pass safely. And so far, it seems like most of the passes we've seen today have been very clean. Drivers really taking their time to pick their poison when it comes to when to throw it around a corner. Owari not giving up, but both these guys, you know, waiver frame having to play defense, we know slows you down. You are not making your fastest laps while applying, you know, while defending from pressure. And we got a little nudge right there. Just a little bump, waiver frame able to control it. But as we see Stan Lee very quickly catching up on the back end of these guys, and it's soon going to become a three-way race. Take a quick jump forward though. JB Racer now under pressure from Palm Tree. That gap had opened up to a little over a second. Now Palm Tree closing it down. Doing his best to apply pressure to JB. JB, again, one of those drivers we talk about who, you know, we were asked earlier, can you do this on a controller? It's not ideal, but you absolutely can if you take a look. I mean, JB currently running in 5th. Very clean driver. Very few issues with JB in regards to that. And here he goes wide, opening the door for Palm Tree and coming in back on it. Oh, that was close. Oh, that was close. Go back and take another look here. It has become that three-way race we talked about. Waiver frame doing everything he can to make that Aston as wide as the track. And we'll now have to contend with not just Owari, but Stan Lee as well. And Owari's off track now. A little too much coming out of that corner. Unable to hold on to it. That Aston as wide as he is. He's doing a great job of it. Oh, we just saw Owari run off track. And now the pressure will be coming from Stan Lee. Let's jump back up front though. An outer known back in a second now. B Fife right behind him in 3rd. Fife quickly closing and now under a 1-second gap between them. Owari into the pits. And done, really, I want to tell you, but I'll tell everybody that's watching right now, and I'll mention the same thing. Hopefully by tomorrow it'll be done. But as of today, BoX3 Motorsports are Twitch affiliates. Can't subscribe or anything yet because it takes time to process and all that, but everything was completed this morning to get us in that position. So we've got some of the folks on the media team working on emotes, things like that for our racers and our subscribers, and it'll be great. So it's a good milestone, I think, for the league, right? It gets us more exposure as we go forward, and I think that's an excellent thing for the league to have. And it's all because of you guys coming and watching, so I appreciate it from each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for driving with us if you're a driver. Tell your friends, tell your family, they can come watch too. We keep it family friendly around here. Outer known, able to hold Fife off thus far, really not under a ton of pressure. I mean, keeping it, you know, that 5 to 7/10 range is what we're seeing so far. Palm Tree, though, hope he didn't think he was getting away from JB that quickly, because JB Racer is sticking right to his tail. I think he wants that P5 back. Something fierce. I just want to wait for these times to come in because, again, well, 16 seconds, but, you know, there's still pit stops to be had, right? So let's see where Stan ends up because, again, with these guys having to fight it out here between Palm Tree and JB, they're not going to produce those fast lap times. That might give Stan another opportunity to get back up there. You know, at one point we saw him at the back of the pack running in number 11. He's now gotten himself up to 7th. So really doing well. Obviously some lap 1 problems, but since then has really pulled it together. We'll see if he can close this gap while Palm Tree and JB continue to battle it out around Zandvoort this afternoon. And again, outer known currently running in 2nd with B Fife right there. McDaddy opening it up a bit. 2 seconds between himself and outer known, but that gap I believe has shortened up since we checked it earlier, he was at one point up by about 3 or 4 seconds. So we'll see if Outer Known's able to pull that in as this race continues. But right now, Fife going to apply pressure. Outer Known obviously having problems today. Has now dropped off behind B Fife. Take a check in on Kipster. Kipster up front at the beginning of today's race, now running in 4th and a good bit off the pace. We'll now see B Fife jump into 2nd with Outer Known, 1.6 off his pace. Certainly not out of the realm of Outer's possibility to close that gap on Fife relatively quickly. Our drivers at this point relatively well spread out. Things going to calm down into the second half of this race. 26 minutes left to go. Zandvoort. Don't forget again, tomorrow we're back for PC ACC racing. Brands Hatch, one of my favorites. I love going up that hill and then back down that hill. Fun. So tune in. 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UTC. We will be here. Myself, maybe Mr. Huffmanic will be back. Kevin Huffman. Bring us all the action we can from BoX3 Motorsports PC ACC League. Speak of the man himself, you mention his name, and he appears, Mr. Huffmanic. Welcome, Huff. Hope you're having a good Saturday afternoon. We do have 11 drivers on track today. The league is growing. Time to pump it up again. Now's the great, and here's the thing. If you are an Xbox driver, now is a great time to join the league because, look, Season 1 is going to be coming to an end very soon, here in February, okay? So, if you're going to come race now, obviously, you're not going to score points this season that's going to put you in a position where you're going to win. But that's okay, because it allows you to get into the community. It allows you to learn the drivers that you're on track with for a few races before we kick off Season 2. And hopefully, we will, in the coming week or two, because we do have one more race. Actually, the season ends January 29th. Next week at Brands Hatch, we're running an endurance race, which will be a 2-hour race, 20-minute qualification with 2 mandatory pit stops. We're gonna have to figure out how to set the server up for that. That should be fun. But after that, we'll have probably a week, maybe 2 weeks break, but we're gonna get Season 2 ready to roll. So if you want to come and learn the drivers, you want to come and get used to being on track with the community, this is a great time to join BoX3, because again, you're going to be able to run that Brands Hatch Endurance next week before we roll into Season 2, where the points are going to pick up, and you'll be able to have an opportunity to win the season. JB Racer now into the pits. McDaddy into the pits, putting B5 up front. Outer Known running in second. Going to clear those mandatory stops. Palm Tree has already cleared his. AB Racer in. We're waiting to see when Stan Lee... Oh, as Stan heads in right now. Waiver Frame doing very well. Himself heading into the pits as well. So that'll leave B Fife running the lead with Outer Known and Kipster. Kipster now back up into third after those pit stops. There we go. We are at the halfway point of today's race. 22.5 minutes left to go. McDaddy now back out on track. Pit stop cleared. Only dropping to fourth. He's in a great position to pick up. Get back into first as Fife, Known, and Kipster clear their stops here later in the race. Oh, if you're not lying, McDaddy, Mr. Peanut Butter himself, has been just dominating today's race. The qual times were all fantastic right there in the top three, but he just was able to take off out of T1, and he has owned it ever since. Fife and Known now into the pits. Going to put Kipster up front unless he dives in as well. Only 11 seconds back from Outer Known, so should be able to get himself up there. Fife now green already. Like a very quick pit. But he is now back out on track in second. As we wait for the timing screen to freshen up, because I got a hard time believing Daddy didn't pick up any positions while these two guys were in the pits. It's always possible, but that seems odd. So we'll wait for this for the timing to clean itself up a little bit. We wait to see if Kipster's going to head in. The only one to not take that mandatory pit stop yet. So McDaddy now running in third after the update. B-Fife running into traffic with the back markers. Frank Drebin doing a great job letting him through, though. He's going to be able to continue to head out. So this means, I mean, if we're waiting, as we wait for Kipster to take that pit stop, McDaddy XL now 4.8 off of Fife's pace. That's a huge gap to try and make up on someone like Fife. He is not slow and is not going to wait for you to catch up to him. Our driver's very well spread out at this point. And there Kipster heads into the pits, so with Kipster heading in, let's keep an eye on B-Fife and see if he makes it past that line before Kipster can get himself back out. Again, about a 4.6 second gap back to McDaddy, who was leading up until the pit stop started. But Fife showing +1 lap off Kipster, and I believe only because Kipster's crossed the start-finish line. And there we go, Fife hitting that start-finish straight. Should be out in plenty of time to get ahead of Kipster, who has not yet cleared that stop. So Fife gonna jump up into first. So now I sit here and wonder what the difference was, what happened, right? Because Mr. Peanut Butter, McDaddy XL, leading this entire race up until the pit stop started. Fife going in, you know, they went into the pits about the same time. Now, I don't know if one of them maybe had damage. Their pit stop took a little longer. Maybe they didn't stop right, had to back up, anything. You know, we weren't watching the pits for these guys. But interesting that now Fife is running out in first, 4.7 over McDaddy. You know, it's his race to lose at this point. Fife is very fast, and while McDaddy has come back today from a hiatus and has just shown he is extremely quick, he's much quicker than I remember him being, which is great. I don't see Fife losing a lot of time. He's very, very consistent every time we see him race. Palm Tree Oil now up into third. Palm Tree, who said, I'm not even sure it's worth racing today because I'm driving myself nuts, now finds himself sitting on podium under pressure from Outer Known. But with all these pit stops cleared, there is nothing stopping these guys from running straight to the end as positions currently stand. Great to see him getting back up there, given he qualified in 6th or 7th. Again, now finds himself in 3rd position, defending a podium right now. $16 laps down, 17 laps down. Our race continues, just over 15 and a half minutes left to go today. Some excellent racing we've seen so far. Very clean, right? I think we've had some great clean racing. There were some bumps and bobs along the way, but nothing like we've seen in the past. You know, we've had some horrible racing in the past on Xbox, and these drivers are just showing their caliber and their expectations by going out there and racing very clean today. We are going to stay right here. This is the battle for 3rd place right now. Upset you lost. What's up, man? How are you today? Hope you're doing well. What's up is Xbox ACC Racing at Zandvoort today. Thank you for being here, my dude. Outer Known, not one to give up. Gonna let Palm Tree Oil sweat here for the last 13 and a half minutes of this race. That's right, Upset. Every day's a great day to be alive. Is the alternative? Not so great. Palm Tree in his Lexus looking to do everything he can to keep Outer Known's Ferrari in his rear view mirror. And I've watched Outer Known race for a while now, and I gotta say, probably one of the more aggressive drivers we have. Very fast, can be very aggressive, but not in that negative way that, you know, he's causing problems, anything like that. Just very apt to make that pass when maybe others would not, but typically able to do so in great fashion. So you can't blame him for that. Excellent driver all around. And Palm Tree now feeling that. Little nudging going on. One more lap down, and we are still sitting watching right here. The battle for third continues. Palm Tree Oil thus far has made that Lexus the entire width of the track. And again, we talked about this before. A little under 10 minutes left to go. Kipster now catching up. He's closing that gap to this battle. You're going to have three very strong drivers very close to each other, and Palm Tree's defense is slowing both of them down. So, you know, we're at 2.3 seconds, and there goes Outer Known again off track. Oh, that's a shame, because such a great battle we had playing out here. Palm Tree Oil holding on to third as Outer Known struggles. Kipster obviously able to get around at that point. We saw him there. JB Racer just went by as Outer Known waits to see if he can get back on track, or looks like he is struggling maybe with a disconnect hardware issue. Hopefully he'll be able to come in and let us know. B5 still leading at this point with McDaddy XL now 5.7 off the pace. So B5 opening that up. McDaddy not able to close down on him at all here towards the end. Palm Tree Oil now in third, and solidly in third with Kipster 2.8 off the pace, and JB Racer able to get around as well. Outer Known now into the pits. JB into fifth with Stanley into sixth. That is a shame, because that was such a great battle we had going. And it almost, I gotta say though, it almost looked like a hardware problem. He just kind of went straight off the track. And then when it finally came back, he tried to turn, but then he was stuck in the sand. And I just don't wonder if he didn't have some kind of hardware disconnect, which is really a shame when something like that happens. Wait a minute. Upset goes and coaches people? How come he don't come around coaching me? I feel slighted now, Blue. Thank you for that. And yeah, you're right. B5 is on the pace because, again, now we see it to 6.3 seconds. He's just running away with this. And Daddy led, you know, McDaddy led the entire first half of this race. So it's not like he's slow. He led the entire first half of this race. And B5 now, with nobody in front of him, is just running away with it. Outer known, check on him again. Still trapped in the pits. Such a shame there. Oh, such a great battle he had with Palm Tree Oil today. So now we see Kipster, Palm Tree Oil, about to put himself into another fight. Yeah. There went the podium. Hipster now up into third, already opening that gap. Well, I think Palm Tree does that every day, no matter what. But you can't fault him everything. They had a really strong race today. Again, great battle with Outer Known, who is still in the pits, so obviously has had some kind of huge problem, simply doesn't want to quit the race, which is great. I think it's awesome he sticks around, but I really, you know, put that back to a hardware issue. It just didn't seem right that he went flying off into the sand that way. Kipster bouncing sand. If he keeps that up, he may open the door for Palm Tree again. JB Racer running a comfortable fifth right now. I don't want to invite him anywhere. Stan Lee again after such a long hiatus. We see Stan Lee back on track, currently running in sixth in his Porsche. A great return for I Am Stan Lee. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Just around 4.5 minutes left to go in today's race. Kipster not going to get away with it that easily, though, as Palm Tree looks to climb back up onto that podium. Oh, an Outer Known, just as an update, poor guy. And that's kind of what I figured. Fanatec failure, gas pedal stuck to the floor, not physically, a calibration issue. So Like I said, it looked a little strange that he went flying directly off the corner into the sand. But obviously having a hardware issue. And that's really too bad because, again, such a great battle with Palm Tree. It was just a lot of fun to watch. At least 4 laps we watched those guys go back and forth or go toe-to-toe. Palm Tree able to keep him at bay, but Outer Known really push him there at the end before the hardware trouble started. It really looked like he was setting up to make that pass. And Palm Tree now falling off the back of Kipster. B-Fife again keeping that pace, that consistency. His race to lose in the last 2 minutes and 14 seconds. McDaddy XL now 5.7 off the pace. Great to see Mr. Peanut Butter, Mr. Daddy XL himself, back on track with us. It's been a minute. A lot of guys taking breaks during the holiday season and throughout this season 1. But hopefully going to get them back out here on track on a regular basis. I love watching these guys drive and seeing, you know, the action that they bring forth every week during a race season. Take a check on Stan Lee and Owari. Waiver Frame still driving strong, along with Frank Drebin and Master. Again, excellent to see some new drivers out on track today. Have them join us. Be great to have even more. So if you know folks on Xbox that want to do some sim racing, by all means, get them over to BoX3. Oh, Master. So guys, let's talk about this for a minute because we got 26 seconds left to go. I get that Kipster and Palm Tree are racing. I understand that. That is absolutely the wrong thing to do as a back marker. Very little control, right? You have very little control over the car in the sand like that. Yes, you're slowing down. Yes, you're getting out of their way. But all it takes is the wrong twitch of the wheel, and you're going to throw that car back across the track into those 2 drivers that you were just trying to help by getting out of their way. Absolutely not what you should do. No fault to Master. Look, I've done it. I've done it myself. And B5 comes across your winner today. Look at that. And it all made the difference in the pits. Again, not really sure what happened, but McDaddy led the entire first half of this race until the pit stop started, and that's where B-Fife was able to come across and run away with it. Kipster now continuing to hold on to 3rd. And there we go. Kipster is your 3rd place winner. Palm Tree Oil in 4th. There is your podium for today's race at Zandvoort. JB Racer following up close behind. Again, great driving from all of our racers today. Palm Tree, you had a good race, dude. You lost 1 position to Kipster, I mean, but still, you had a great race. Man, it was an awesome battle you had with Outer Known. Until his pedals went crazy on him, you know? It was at least 4 laps where you guys were fighting. Kipster, not today, boy. Good job, Kipster. Dan Lee coming in 6th. Oh, where are you going to finish in 7th? With Waiver Frame, Frank Drebin, and Master having already crossed the line. There is your Zandvoort race. Again, folks, don't forget our Xbox League is back next Saturday for an endurance race. 2 hours at Brands Hatch. We'll start at 3 p.m. Eastern time right here. There should be coverage right here at the BoX3 Motorsports Twitch channel. And back tomorrow for PC ACC. Talking about Brands Hatch, our PC League is going to be there tomorrow. Going to be there tomorrow for a standard race. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I think we had some excellent racing from all of our drivers. Again, I'm sure there's a few incidents. They'll get reported through the website. But overall, we saw some great passes. We saw some excellent driving, some great battles. Again, it's been weeks since I've been, had opportunity to cover the Xbox League, and I'm happy to be back. I'm really hoping I'm here next week for that 2-hour endurance, and I would love to cover these guys. And again, season 2, if you know folks on Xbox, get them over, tell them to come race with it. Okay. My name is Adam. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. You guys are awesome. To the drivers, to the watchers, again, we're BoX3 Motorsports. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for PC ACC. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon.